Not long ago, Unite the People was approached by a gentleman named Bradley James. Mr. James informed us he was working as the bodyguard and driver for Miss Kelsey Harris during Mr. Peterson's trial. As such, he was in close proximity and he had privy to conversations she was having with her husband and others. Mr. James informed us he was not under a non-disclosure agreement or a confidentiality agreement and was free to speak with Unite the People, and that he was doing it because his conscience would not let him not speak and leave a man in prison for something he did not do. Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was a witness to the conversation Miss Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times, Mr. Peterson grabbed her arm and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched that gun, never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at trial testified he saw 2 women fighting, 2 men break up the fight, 1 man grabbed the other one's arm. Gunshots came from the passenger side. Passenger side is where Miss Harris is sitting.
What's going on, Passport family? Welcome back to another episode of Men on the Move. And guys, man, today we are going to be talking about this Tory Lanez case, man. There have been new evidence that was brought up about this Tory Lanez case, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about. But before that, man, I know everyone heard about this tragic accident that happened with Tory Lanez, that he was brutally stabbed while he was in prison. And the guy was stabbed 14 times, guys. 14 times. Like, whoever stabbed him was doing their best to get Tory Lanez up out of here. But thank God, Tory Lanez is still with us. I heard that his lungs collapsed and they had him on a ventilator, but he's no longer on that ventilator. He's breathing on his own. And he's even talking now, even though he's still in pain. So I want to just say that my heart goes out to the family of Tory Lanez, and I pray that Tory Lanez make a speedy recovery. Now, what I want to talk about is this shit show of a case that has happened between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. Guys, it has been so much evidence that came up between that case that did not get presented in the courtroom. There were so many things that I just personally feel that was being hidden. When you have DNA evidence, or when you find DNA evidence on a gun, but you don't screen for any other person that was in that car besides Tory Lanez, but there's another DNA evidence on that gun, and you don't screen for it, that screams to me that you don't want the truth. You want to bury it. So from day one, I've maintained that I believe Tory Lanez is innocent. And now you have new evidence coming out. Allegedly, the bodyguard of Kelsey had overheard a conversation between Kelsey and maybe someone that she knows, saying that Kelsey indeed was the one who allegedly shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. And what the bodyguard said was Kelsey was talking to someone, and she said the only thing that Tory Lanez did was he came out and he grabbed her arm to try to de-escalate the situation. And from what is going on, and from the evidence that was presented, and from the evidence that was hidden, it seems to make sense. So now, all the evidence that we were getting that was chopped up and misconstrued when everybody was saying, this don't make no goddamn sense about this case. Now, with this new evidence, it's starting to fill in the blanks of, I can see how that could happen. And I want to talk about this because this tends to happen between a lot of these domestic cases, man. Nobody ever gets, I don't want to say they don't ever get, but they ignore the man's account in domestic issues a lot in this country. A lot. So many guys go through things like this, but what happens is they're not so famous. So they don't get so much light on their case. You know, they don't get so many people to tweet and repost and share about what they're going through, about the lies that they had to face in court behind a woman. And I'm here to tell you guys that you have to protect yourself. Don't believe for a second that any of these women out here, any of them, have your best interest in heart. Understand that these women are their selves first, man. Their selves first. This legal system can just be used and abused for many different ways than what it was intended to be used for, bro. It'll make your head spin. But what I do know is that us men, especially us who tend to travel, the passport cartel, we have the ability and we have the knowledge to decide, I'm not going to deal with any of these American women. I'm leaving it alone. America is a purpose for us who choose to travel and go overseas. Understand that America is used to build resources, to gain resources, and we use that to basically fund our lifestyle. These American women, man, like I told you before, they can change from any given Monday to any given Sunday. And you never know what to expect. But if you always expect the worst, you will not be surprised. That's why I tell you guys, just don't deal with them. Just don't deal with them. You have a whole world. America is just one country. And our passport is pretty damn good. You have damn near a whole world you can go out there and venture to. Why deal with the same things that you have been dealing with in America with these dating issues over and over and over and over and over again? These domestic issues. You know, just like Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy ex-girlfriend lied. They had a whole dispute in the house. And she called the cops. And it just came up with this whole elaborate story about how Xavier Worthy was just kicking her ass. Whole time, she done been whooping his ass. She done got his hair. She done been taking his dreads out. Xavier Worthy got a fade like me now. And it's like, when is it gonna be enough? I mean, that girl lied so much on Xavier Worthy, man. She tried to get a restraining order on him. But the whole time she was in his house tearing up shit, Xavier Worthy had to get a private investigator. This girl was cheating in his own with multiple dudes. But this is what happens when you let America become a shit show of believe all women. That's what happens to America. You know, now you have so many dudes, forget dating. Dudes are afraid to go to work. Dudes don't even want to be around women while they're at work because they're afraid of, allegations or women saying something to HR. It's a very uncomfortable situation that men are in right now in America with modern women. But like I'm telling you, what you can do, man, is you can decide, get your passport, minimize your risk, learn a new language, and go experience a new culture. That way, you may not be able to control everything, but you can control something.